In the previous tutorial, we had discussed the motivation for doing normalization, namely that if we put all our information in one table, in a single table, then very likely it will have multiple themes in that one table. And whenever you have multiple themes inside one table, there will be redundancies, and those redundancies lead to update, insert, and delete anomalies, which result in inconsistent data in that table, which is not good for a database. And that's what motivates us to normalize the table. We haven't yet discussed how to do the normalization, but we motivated the reason for it. So we'll apply those concepts to a problem setting here. So you see a single table, and we are going to examine this table and ask ourselves, does this table has one theme, or if it has more than one theme, how many themes does it have? What are those themes? And then we will go from there to try and identify if this table has any anomalies. So if you look across this table, it has, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 columns. And if I just informally look at the contents of the table, I can see that there are more than one themes. For example, if I look on the left-hand side over here, there seems to be information just about the student. Independent of whatever else the student might be doing at the university, there is information pertaining to the student. So that's one theme that's present in the table, the theme being that of student. And now if I look over on the right-hand side, if I isolate these two columns contain information about courses, and these have nothing to do with students. These are just numbers of the courses and the description of students. Okay, so there's a second theme that's floating around in this table, and that has to do with courses. Now, if I look at the remaining columns, namely this one, and the last one, grade, they also seem to be suggesting a theme, in the sense that courses are offered in a particular semester, in some semester, and then the student gets a grade in the course. So there seems to be a third theme that's present in this particular table. Again, this identification is quite informal. Later on in a subsequent tutorial, we will see how to formally identify what these themes might be in a much more rigorous manner. Here we're just eyeballing the table and trying to spot if there are more than one theme. So we have student as a theme, we have course as a theme, and we have grade as a theme also. There seem to be 3 themes, and we know from our theory discussion in the previous tutorial that whenever there's more than one theme in a single table, very likely there's redundancy, and when there's redundancy, you have update, insert, and delete anomalies. Okay, so let's see where those problems might lie specifically in this table. So let's talk about first update anomaly. So an update anomaly arises when you want to make change to one record, one place in the table, but to keep the contents of the table consistent, that same change has to be made in multiple places. So let's say, for example, that Jane Doe changes her address. So Jane Doe changes address from 2nd Street to, let's say, 4th Street. Okay. If I am to keep information consistent in this table or in this single table database, then I have to change Jane Doe's address here and here, multiple places. Why? Because Jane Doe happens to be taking 2 courses, MIS 310 and MIS 320. It seems silly to record Jane Doe's address twice just because Jane Doe has taken 2 courses, but that's the way this table is set up. And I have to change Jane Doe's address in 2 places. So just imagine if you think of a university like George Mason that has 40,000 students and each student taking 4 courses on average, let's say, in a semester, then if you change the content of the address of a student, there are multiple places where that change has to be made. So this is an example of an update anomaly. The same thing you can see with course. If the name of MIS 310, okay, let's say MIS 310, that's the course number. Currently the name of that course is DB, presumably that stands for databases. Okay, so let's just say for the sake of discussion that we change the title. Titles for courses change in the catalog all the time. Okay, so let's say we change the title of this course from databases to database management systems, to DBMS. So then now if I want to keep the contents of the database consistent, I have to change the title here and I have to change the title here. Why? Because there are 2 students who have taken or who are taking MIS 310, and there could be 40 students who are taking MIS 310, in which case I would have to change the course name in 40 different places. So clearly there are update anomalies in this table. How about insert anomaly? An insert anomaly arises when you want to put in information into the table, but that is only part of the information that you have in order to put information in order to add information to the table. So let's say the school wants to offer a new course. Let's say it's MIS 335 and we'll say it's IT assurance. So that's the course number, that's the title of the course. So all I want to put into this table is the fact that the school is now offering a new course, MIS 335. That's the course number and the title, and the course name is IT assurance. Now, I want to add that information over here. So I want to say MIS 335 here, and I want to put the course name over here. Unfortunately, I cannot do this until I have at least one student who has registered for the course. Okay, because until I have one student registered for the course, I don't have information for the rest of the record. So I want to add the course to the table. I only have part of the information that I need. I need information for the course as well as the student, otherwise I can't fill out the row. So that's an insert anomaly. The same thing would arise if they, let's say we have a new student, let's say Joe Brady, who has a G number and has an address, but has not signed up for any course yet, has not enrolled in any course yet. All I want to do is add this information to the table, namely that we have a new student called Joe Brady, who has a certain G number and who has a certain address. There also I cannot put that information because again, I only have partial information now. Okay, I have information about the name of the student, the G number and the address, but I cannot put that information in until the student registers in a course, because unless the student registers in a course, I don't have the rest of the information that I would need in order to put the record into the table. Okay, so there is clearly an insert anomaly. All right, now let's think about delete anomaly. When does delete anomaly arise? Delete anomaly arises when you're trying to remove partial information from the table, and so along with the information that you want to delete, unintentionally related other information is removed that you do not want to go. For example, let's say Jane Doe drops out of school, and so all I want to do is from this table, I want to delete the information that there is a student called Jane Doe whose gene number is G0002 and who lives on 2nd Street. So I want to delete that information only. Now, if I do that, if I remove Jane Doe's information, I have to remove the entire rows corresponding to Jane Doe. So I have to remove this last row and the second last row if I want to remove Jane Doe from the database. So if I do that, notice that I am also deleting MIS 320, okay, networks from the database, from this relation. And that's a problem because this row, so Jane Doe is the only student who is enrolled in MIS 320 according to this table. So if I delete Jane Doe, then inadvertently, unintentionally, I also delete the information that the department is offering a course called MIS 320. So if Jane Doe were to be deleted, nobody would ever know that there is a course called MIS 320 networks, okay? So next semester, or let's say 7 days from now, if somebody is trying to look at this list in the table and then say, which course should I register for? They won't even see MIS 320. They won't even be aware that there is this course called MIS 320. So a delete anomaly arises when you're trying to get rid of partial information, and in doing so, related information in the same row unintentionally gets removed as well. So I'm trying to remove information on Jane Doe, but in the course of doing that, I also lose information on MIS 320. So we have update, insert, and delete anomalies are all present in this table. And the reason that it's present is because you have these multiple themes. So that's the motivation behind normalization. Now that we know this table is problematic, it has these anomalies, I would next need to go ahead and normalize, that is, split this table up into smaller tables where each table basically takes care of one theme. And that process of splitting this table up to get rid of the anomalies is what normalization is all about. And we will see the mechanics of that in subsequent tutorials.